Hello and welcome to Happy Foot Sad Foot. I'm Travis Helwig.
I'm Geoff Tock, the heel of the foot.
And Eric's got nothing in his cans.
All right, all right. That's you. It's you. You're muted too.
We can hear everything but you, Erik. Look, I'm here at Mercedes Benz. I feel, it's funny that I feel disappointed because I felt like there was a moment in which I was like, can we get a point? Can we get a point? How was it on TV? I'll tell you this. In the stadium, it was clear we were dominating as fans the whole time. Shout out to Michelob Ultra. And so I'm curious what you guys felt on TV watching along. And it's really weird to do this here.
Travis, I think it's wonderful that you're throwing to me. I know it's because you value my opinion and not because your voice is completely destroyed for yelling for 90 minutes and drinking what I can only assume is a Michelob Ultra at the moment. By the way, shout out to
Michelob Ultra.
Like, legitimately, I know you guys are going to clown me. I'm sure you guys are like grass beer guys. You want the IPAs or whatever. Michelob Ultra goes down clean, my friends. It's basically water. Spectacular stuff. Travis, I'm very excited to hear what happened in the stadium. But for outside on TV, like, obviously it looked like, hey, look, we got our first crasher guy.
Sad, but not as sad as it could be. I mean, we held our own. I have no idea what's on the podcast right now, but I mean, I feel like they played well.
We were just talking about we feel okay.
Yeah.
We feel okay. We just started.
There were a bunch of moments where I was like, it was like that close. It was like that close. So I'm not mad, but I could have been happier. That's my hot take.
The sad foot is that we could have been happier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Let's hear him.
Yeah. Shout out to the most sober man in the world. Obviously sober as a judge. Has not been drinking at all in any way, shape, or form. Great takes. So on the Travis up too. Okay. So on the broadcast, it felt very much like 1-0 would have been a coup. That, like, they had a lot of chances. They were really in there. They played really well. Probably you'd say they're unlucky to not have 3 or maybe even 4. But it felt more like a varsity versus JV game than a varsity versus 8th graders game, which is what I was terrified about. So to me, that's if you're the JV team walking in and they only beat you 2-0, you know what I mean? And one of the other guys is probably going to play.
Apple is that we're still alive and my flight didn't get canceled. Apple I saw this through here.
Again, let's compete for most sober listener. Let's see which listener that approaches you is the most sober as we go. Is this another guy? This is the worst possible way to do a podcast. This is great.
I'm listening. Keep going.
It's a monologue. Erik, what did you see?
Yeah. I'll just jump in. For me, my expectations on this, and I've watched a lot of Club World Cup, and hopefully there's not too much background noise from me here. But I expected probably a 4-0 or a 5-0 beatdown by Chelsea. So, like, to me, a 2-0. Even though it's 0 points in the group stage, it's not an embarrassment. It was a great performance. The team kept it competitive to the 80th minute, and it kind of, I think, showcases the mentality between MLS players and the top European guys. We had a couple mistakes we didn't get punished on. The first goal was a mistake that we got punished on. We just didn't move for the pass. The second goal was kind of like everybody stopped playing at the whistle, and Chelsea didn't stop, and all of a sudden they went down the other side. So, I mean, those 2 goals aside, that was the game. You don't come back against a team like that. But I'm super proud of the way the boys played. I heard the 32-52 over the TV a lot. That was awesome.
Yep.
And, I think the Flamengo fans are going to be a bit louder, albeit that one. I wish I could have made Chelsea. But, man, hopefully you guys are having a great time. It was on TV. It was fun. It was fun. A lot of nervous moments for our boys, but they played well, man. I'm super proud of a 2-0 loss. Like, I'm really proud of them.
No, it's if we had lost 1-0, we would have won the game. Like, I would have been very comfortable saying LAFC won the game by only losing by 1 goal. You'd almost say it with 2, right? That, like, legitimately, PSG beat Atleti by 4. We only lost to Chelsea by 2. So by the transitive property, we're pretty close. You know what I mean? You'd say we're probably like 8th in the Premier League at this point, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
It was it was I mean, it's just like, here's the thing, guys. We might never play like a competitive game against a Premier League team of that level ever again in our lives. Like, and not that was they wanted to win that game. They made subs coming in to try and hold on to that lead. They played their starters. They were mad. They got yellow cards. They were flopping at David Martinez. David Martinez like getting yellow. Like, I just again, it's there's like these magical things like beating America, right? Like, but we all knew that was possible, and we'll probably play America a bunch more times. I will see LAFC beat America again in my lifetime. I don't know that I'll ever see like my team that I have tickets to, like that I can take the train to go see play Chelsea ever again. Like I just, it's you know, I
You
don't want
know,
to be too moonstruck or whatever, but I can't believe it. Sorry, what were you saying?
yeah, you bring up Club America. Yesterday was Father's Day, and so hopefully they gave LAFC a nice gift because we are their daddies. But yeah, it was a good game. You know, hopefully Ordaz is going to be okay. I mean, a concussion, it's going to be hard to see him coming back in the next 4 days. But you know, going back and picking over what happened in the game, I would have loved to see an Ordaz, Martinez, Bouanga starting 3. Abobasi did a little bit with his hold-up play, but I feel like the Martinez or Ordaz, like those two are just on fire all the time. And I would have liked to see all 3 of them start, but I get why they did it. But, you know, it wasn't to be. It may have been the same result at the end. Luckily, Martinez didn't get another yellow. He's a bit of a hothead, and there's good yellow cards to take. Like Danny Musovski is one. Like every yellow card he would get, like he took a chunk out of a guy. But Martinez kind of gets yellow cards like he doesn't get much value for it. You know, like if you're gonna get a yellow, I want to see you like take a chunk out of the dude's leg. And Martinez kind of just gets him for like pushing a guy, and the guy flops and he gets a yellow. So it's like one thing I wish he was smarter on his yellow cards, and luckily he didn't get a second one because that was my big worry. Especially with Ordaz gone, is like we go into the next game with no Ordaz, no Martinez, and all of a sudden it's like it's a bit of a mess on a game that we have to run up the score on if we're gonna have any chance of going through.
100%, 100%. I think we can all agree, Jeremy Bumbasi, as I've been saying and will continue to say, because that guy's a bum. There were 2 awful plays he had. That one where he had Ordaz running on the cross, and just legit hit it as if he was an 8th grader. And then when he's falling down in the box and the one Denny cuts back, it's just abysmal, like really genuinely abysmal. And I hate to be down on anybody today because we took Chelsea, only beat us by 2 goals. So how bad can anybody have really played? But that was he's killing me, man. And it's like we just have this thing of we bring in, you know, this
Am I on
amazing-
at all or no?
Well, it's
No,
best
you're
to-
not.
Can you hear me at all?
I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can.
Yeah.
We can.
Well, now I can't hear you. I'm gonna give me 5 minutes. You guys
Yeah.
control the show. Give me
Yeah,
5
sure.
minutes. I'll be right back.
The
Let me know
inmates
when
are
the
running the
Patreon-
asylum now.
Yeah. Let me know when the Patreon check hits for running the show.
Yeah. So anybody wants to like throw those $5 donations now, like they're going to us. Hey, where are they?
Yeah. And YouTube's not gonna take a cut. So Eric, we don't know each other that well. We're gonna tell you a story about my great uncle. All right. So my great uncle, right, just recently passed. Wonderful gentleman. Grew up where I grew up in Western Michigan. Right, played high school football. Not very great. Not a great high school football player, but he gets his big chance. Right when the quarterback takes this awful thing that hits so hard that he breaks his helmet. Right. And my great uncle is the backup quarterback. So the coach looks to him and the coach says, "Lancaster, get over here." And the guy's like, "This is my great uncle's like, this is my chance. I'm gonna do it." And he says, "Hey, you got the same size helmet as the quarterback, right?" Goes over and gives his helmet. That was David Ochoa at halftime. Was giving up. That was his biggest accomplishment, was bringing his jersey over. Yeah. It was. It's a whole thing, man. Also, who decided that Giroud's jersey wasn't going to be where Giroud was? That's an amazing, like, if that was us, like, that kid, man, is going to have a rough ride home, man. That's going to be, I don't think he's going to get to go to Magic City tonight.
No, this is just CONCACAFing right here. You know, that's the world got to see a little bit of CONCACAF. You know, we don't quite have the CONMEBOL of like the dogs running on the field and this and that, but we do have like forgotten jerseys at halftime. Shout out to Amirian Law. I think isn't that the sponsor? I'm not sure, but hey, no, right on. Marvin Segovia, Bouanga's a beast. Yes, he is. Body and Med Bay, only Twitch viewer. What is a Twitch? I'm old. No, just kidding. 2 Bouanga flops, couldn't win this one. Yeah,
It
one of
wasn't
them.
that bad of a flop.
It
Come on.
wasn't. Like he went to draw for it. I wouldn't call it a flop.
I'll
Like
say that last one at the end, I was really trying to sell for him. I was
Oh,
going
yeah.
hard for Bouanga at the end. Look, I don't know how long my internet will work for here. I just want to say, I want to echo what a lot of people are saying, which is just like Chelsea's the 4th best player, or 4th best team in England, and maybe on the European continent. They have the 6th best chance to win this tournament, and we weren't and we weren't embarrassed. I think the big fear was we were going to get absolutely embarrassed, and I felt, especially after the first half, I was like, we could get out of this group. I know, has anyone talked about it yet? We could get out of this fucking group, guys.
I mean, it's all going to come down to Brazil, right? Like that's the thing is I think that the Tunisian team, you don't want to look past them, but that's like the closest we're going to have to something where I think we're probably favored in that game. And then against Flamengo, you got to say, you know, like they've got a lot more money than we do. You know, they're probably favored, but like if we get a tie against Flamengo and we win against Tunis, like or Esperance or whatever it is, the Tunisian team, I think we can go through. And if we beat both of them, I mean, you're going to go through, you know, and I think that's reasonable to hope for. You know what I mean? More reasonable than us hoping we're going to tie Chelsea.
it's a hope, I think, but it's a bit of a long shot. I mean, I was looking at Chelsea. Chelsea's 7 highest paid players make more money than the entire LAFC team. And their 8th, 9th, and 10th are like $1 million away from making as much as the entire LAFC roster. So that's what we have going there. One thing with this 2-0 loss, I'll say, like, we're criticizing individual player performances. And this is only because the game was that close that we can start picking apart. If it was a blowout, we'd just be like, the whole team fell apart. You know what I mean? Regarding Flamengo,
Erik, I would be going after Jeremy Ebobisse no matter what. I would be destroying Jeremy Ebobisse. I think this is my new thing. Is I've been harping on Aaron Long for 3 years straight. I'm gonna go after Ebobisse.
Delgado also didn't have the best game. He gave away 3 passes under no pressure, you know, and against a team like Chelsea, you just can't do that, you know. So, I mean, a lot of it's there. It was a big moment for them, and I'm sure a lot of butterflies go. But regarding get out of the group and Flamengo is a whole other monster. You know, I watch a ton of Brasileiro. The only thing I see in this game we have in our favor is that Flamengo plays Chelsea next, and they're going to play them hard. And so we're going to be facing them after they come through at Chelsea going at them. So hopefully a little fatigue sets in. But, you know, Chelsea is in their off season right now. Flamengo is in the middle of their season, just like we're in the middle of our season. So those guys are all going to be in match shape. And this tournament is for any group, any region is CONMEBOL. Like, this tournament is the biggest tournament. What is now the Intercontinental Cup, that was the biggest tournament. They all go super hard at this trophy. You know, Flamengo, getting a result against them is going to probably be just as difficult as Chelsea. But as we saw, we weren't that far away from getting a result today. So I think getting a draw against Flamengo, if we can play a really good game, is in the cards. I think to go through is going to matter how bad we can beat up on Tunisia compared to Flamengo beating up on Tunisia. And that right there is going to be tough. But
hey, Erik, before I forget and my internet goes down, tell everyone where they could listen to your podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's Section 128 on YouTube. Maybe we got to fix the stream on Twitter as well. And we will be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's always our show on Mondays. So come check us out in a couple hours.
And Geoff, when you were on Epstein's Island, do you think he killed himself, or do you think it was an inside job?
I'm proud to announce that I actually killed Epstein as a taken act of revenge. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the movie.
Right, you didn't want your name out on the list.
Yeah, much like the SEALs that killed Osama bin Laden, I don't want my name out there on the person that killed Epstein because it'll be dangerous for my family. But I'm proud on this stream that I killed him. Yeah.
We got a lot of comments about how I was dancing in the 3252, and let me tell you, there's a reason I don't sit there. There's a reason I shouldn't be there. But I will say, like, vibe wise, I could tell there was a sense of like kind of embarrassment among some Chelsea fans of just how non-existent
like every time they would cut to them in the stadium, it was them like kind of sad. And at least in the stands, we were dominating. It felt really, really nice to be there with the 32-52.
Well, and I think it's like this is the thing is that I think we have this real Eurocentric view of soccer in America, right? That the best fans are in England, that we don't know how to do it, whatever. But like we're much closer to being a South American or Central American club and fan base than we are a British one. And honestly, man, like who are the best
Thank
fans in the world?
God.
It's yeah, but this is my thing. I have no interest in being a front runner for the team that I like. Here's the thing, man. Half of these Chelsea fans are never going to go and can't go because London is incredibly expensive and it's an incredibly rich place. And so they attach themselves to to laundry versus like I get to go see LAFC every week. So to me, like I don't want to be a part of this this fan base in quotes of these Premier League teams in America. Like we have real great soccer here in America, and we have again we have some of the best fans on the continent, like in LA proper. You know what I mean? Like those guys came out and saying Chelsea fans barely even hang out. They go to some fucking bar at 6 a.m. because they have too much money and too much time. Like yeah, we'll win in the stands every week. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
No, South American for sure. Like you watched the Palmeiras game last night, like you heard them. When we play Flamengo, you're going to hear them as well. I mean, Flamengo is basically the New York Yankees of Brazilian soccer. It's the biggest team, biggest fan base. Like nobody really comes close. So we're going to get the full experience here next week. And I know we're not talking about Tunisia, which is in between, but that's kind of sorry, Tunisia, you're not as exciting.
I will say, I mean, that Tunisian, we need to make sure that we do not overlook that in the same way. I don't want the players to overlook it, right? We have to win that game if we want any shot because Flamingo, then it's a 1-game playoff, but we have to do the fucking job. We did the job today, maybe not, to the result that we wanted, but we weren't embarrassed. And that was my big fear, right? We were going to go in and lose 10-0 like Auckland. And it was clear we're not Auckland. And it's also clear that Chelsea's not Bayern. But I feel okay about going into... I feel like this team is ready to try to make a run outside of this group. I think, let's only do another like 10 minutes of this. I think there's only so much we could do, and I got to keep drinking unless I'm going to crash. So any other, like, I'm curious, like on TV, what were people saying? What was the vibe like? Like in the stadium, it was a party, but again, I was in the 32-52.
So I watched the whole thing with my kids, and my kids assumed that LAFC would be competitive because they kept talking about how LAFC had a chance, which I found very odd. Like the pregame, they were like, who knows, man, maybe they could pull it off. And you're like, I really feel like you're setting us up for a disappointment, essentially. I'd say like I was bummed at how empty the stadium looked on TV. You know what I mean? I always think that's so wild. Like even like with LAFC that we have the upper ring is almost always packed, and then they'll have like the bottom half like not always sell out or not always look big, and I just find that so strange. You know what I mean?
I'll also say
there.
I heard of a bunch of LAFC fans whose flights were canceled, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we can't go." Like there were so many thunderstorms over the last weekend, so I know we had more people coming as well.
Yeah, but it's also I'm curious to see what the next iteration of Club World Cup looks like if they're not able to sell out stadiums. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a version of this where you put everything in one city. I think there's a version of it where there's a lot of different ways to do this. I really like this. I know that's an unpopular thing against ultras or whatever that we're not supposed to like when teams play each other or whatever. But I'm really into it. But you got to wonder if they're going to be able to keep doing this if they can't sell out stadiums in the way that they thought they were going to. But
I think so. I mean, FIFA has an ungodly amount of money, and I think they'll keep throwing it at it and making this go. And we looked at the PSG Atletico game that was pretty packed. There's certain teams and certain combinations are going to be packed. It's tough because with this, I mean, we're 3,000 miles away. Every other MLS team, they have their home stadiums to fill up. If this was in Los Angeles, like this, we would have probably had 50,000 LAFC fans at this game. But instead, it's like, who can travel to Atlanta on a Monday? And, Travis is about it. And maybe a couple hundred others.
We're incredibly successful television showrunners and creators, then we could all go. But, some of us have to work today.
I also had to work, Geoff. How dare you? Some of us have to fold laundry every day.
Yeah. But, I think like we kind of had to pick which, like for myself, I could really only miss to go one game. So for me, it's the Flamengo game. And I'm sure there's others that, you know, are picking and choosing which they can go and they can't go all three. If you can go to all three, like, I'm happy for you. You're close to winning life, but you know, a lot of us are a little farther away from it, you know? So if I could go to all three, I would, but it's just one. So that's it.
And none of them are drivable is the other bummer. It's not even like we got a San Diego or a Vegas or anything even close. Like every one of those is a flight and a hotel and everything else.
Yeah, I looked into Orlando and I was like, oh, it's a week from now. So I couldn't even travel down to Orlando. It's very silly.
Yeah.
I don't know. My big fear about coming out here for this game is that I would feel deeply embarrassed to be a big fan of this team. And I don't feel that at all. I feel weirdly proud because not only did we show out in the stands and we were louder than them and it was clear on the broadcast. Yes, they were a better team. We knew that going in. We had a chance to, you know, get a point out of this team. And I'm proud of our club. And I really do think we have a chance to get out of this group. You know, they have to keep showing up, but I feel okay.
It's not a 0% chance for sure. It's more than a 0% chance. Unlike awkward Auckland, you know, they're fucked.
It's true. We're not as bad as the semi-pro team whose coach couldn't go because he had to go to work. We're definitely better than those guys.
Whose goalie is not a professional soccer player.
He had to max out his vacation days.
All right. Before we end this, Erik, remind us again how we can find you.
Yeah, you can find me, Erik Hulstrom, on Twitter. Section 128 podcast at Section 128. Yeah. I also contribute to Territorios MLS and Pitchside US, which is a lot of Brazilian MLS crossover.
And Geoff, where can we find you outside of people wanting to put money into your commissary?
If you'd like to watch a documentary about all my exploits, it's called Point Break from 1967. It's about a man murdering awful people. So look out on the bright side for that very soon.
All right. Well, we're going to end it there just because I'm very hot right now. I need to find air conditioning. But this is great.
Drink water, Travis. Drink water. Don't just drink beers.
Fuck
some water in
you.
there.
Fuck you. Shout out to the husband of the mayor of Manhattan Beach who I did shots with tonight. All right. Thanks for hanging out and like and subscribe as always. You guys know about that shit. If there's any super chats we didn't get to, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do it on my phone. All right. I love you.
I refuse.
I love you. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.